This is how I think INFJs should build their careers. Start with thoughtful introspection. Now, this is not hard for us. We naturally do this anyway. We're very self-aware and self-conscious, to a fault sometimes. But I think that is the key to getting started and choosing the right industry to go into. And if you are entrepreneurial, like myself, solopreneurship is probably your best bet because it involves working with a smaller number of people, and you can choose the category and industry based on your interest, your skills, your experience, and that's ideal, right? Because environment's very important to an INFJ. We're very sensitive to other people, to energies, and to the environments we work in. I used to work in fitness and work in gyms. I made some great friendships. I did well in my career there, especially as a personal trainer. Worked with some very high-end clients and felt like I got what I needed to get out of that part of my life. But I also went through a period where it was a very heavy burden of having to entertain and be something I wasn't on a daily basis to, just socialize and get along with people and lead and just constantly be around tons of other individuals who I probably wouldn't have chosen to be around. And that's, that's a gym environment, of course. It's crazy, right? Like that's you're gonna be around people all day, and it wasn't ideal. And I remember just thinking at the time, over and over when I was taking the bus, man, I really would love to just work on my own or work remote. I really am better suited to be, more quiet, not be in a ton of meetings all day, have more autonomy over my schedule and my life, have more freedom over all that. And so I made the decision to do an online boot camp at the time for UX. It's with Design Lab, and I took the UX Academy, certification program. And that's what really launched my career into UX design. Now, I'm not saying UX is the best for you, and maybe not for every type of introvert. It's a decent career path for introverted individuals though, because there aren't a ton of meetings, although you have to present your work and of course be on calls in a remote environment and check in with people and be available. You're not the person who's gonna always have to speak up on every call. And that's nice, and you do have a lot of time to actually put your head down and do your design work. And it's a creative field, which, I think a lot of INFJs are also creative, types. And it's also got a bit of psychology, right? Because you do some research, you have to kind of think about user needs and their pain points and their motivations as it pertains to the product. So thinking through that, and because we understand humans really well, I figured, I might be pretty good at that. So that was the reason for my decision then. But even now, I'm still trying to transition, with still my full-time work and everything, into solopreneurship. Create content that I want to create and talk about in an environment that I want to be in, my home. And then, create free products that can help people and lead that into more paid products that I put a lot of effort into to build that people can see the value in through that price point and purchase. That's the game. Like, I'm trying to help people that are going through the process I went through many years ago when I felt unsure of my future and who I was, and I knew I needed change, but I didn't know, what direction to go in. And I wasted a lot of time thinking about that and wondering how and when and if I could actually do it. And I'm here to tell you can, and there are steps to do so. But I think the first step is be very honest, do a self-audit of your current situation, be very honest where you're at, who you are, and if you want it to be different and you want it to change, you have to decide on the perfect kind of balance between doing things that are good for you and doing things that keep you in a nice kind of peaceful mode, peaceful mindset. So for me, it was keeping a full-time position while I worked on this boot camp, because I knew I couldn't just take a complete 100% leap and quit my job and go into the boot camp full-time. Luckily, it offered a part-time track, because that would have filled me with a lot of stress and anxiety, right? So I took my time with it. It took almost a year. I took my time with it. I still had my income, and I worked at that boot camp. If you want to get into tech and work remotely, there's tons of online boot camps out there to become an engineer, become a designer, product managers. Then align all those different options that you're looking into with who you are, what you've already done, what you have experience in, right? Your skill sets, and be honest about that. Maybe ask friends and family if you're unsure or not confident in what your skills actually are. And this can include hard and soft skills, right? Then also look into, your interests, maybe areas you want to get into or a lot about but never formally studied or whatnot, but you do know that you wouldn't quit easily doing it or learning about it or talking about it on a daily basis. For me, that was actually hard to pinpoint because there's a lot of things I like, and so it was very tough for me to narrow that down. So I went more of the route of just like general interests like psychology and, you know, creating and things like that. And then, you know, use my experience and more of my skill sets to kind of really focus in on UX at the time, right? But you can do this with anything. Remember, if you're going the solopreneurship route and want to do your own thing, the evergreen niches, right? Like people are always going to be focused and worry about, you know, their health, wealth, making money, and relationships. Those are the three big ones. And all three of those kind of fall into this personal development umbrella. That's what everyone's ultimately trying to do. They're trying to better themselves. But you just gotta, you know, narrow that down in a specific compartment that's, you know, associated with who you are and what you know best, and express that authentically through your own experiences and your own voice. And that's how you can get started and create content on, you know, a platform that's best suited for you. Bottom line is, I hope I gave you some steps and some things to think about. I'm going to outline this more in some deliverables that I'm going to present to you guys. I already have a free ebook that's in the description below for personal branding. And this is kind of associated with that, right? That self-discovery process and kind of really figuring out what you would be best suited for and how you should express yourself online. Because I think no matter what you do, creating content is a great way to build some authority for yourself. Even if you're in a job, you know, like a specific position working for a company, creating content about that thing could eventually lead you into doing, you know, your own business or your own consulting or whatnot. So I still think it's beneficial to do these days. Like, I feel like everyone should be creating to some extent. Try to build an environment that you're most comfortable in. I think from there, your confidence will build and you'll be able to really get clarity on where you are and where you can take your career and ultimately your life. So hope this helps. INFJs, hang in there. We're gonna be all right. I know we like to worry. And until next time, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.